Hey everyone, I'm Todd Wayne along with Ronnie Heelan. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of Paranomaly Podcast. You know, in this episode of Paranomaly, we'll be talking with Stephanie Oreilly. She bought the 1889 McInteer Villa a little over 5.5 years ago, solely for the purpose of paranormal investigations. She was never into ghost hunting until a night at the Crescent Hotel changed her mind, and after that, she was hooked. She's heard that the villa was for sale and that it's haunted. So she bought it, and now she shares it with others to investigate. The McInteer Villa is well known and has had a lot of different paranormal things happen. So it's a very active place. So grab yourself a drink and a snack, turn the lights off on the way back, find yourself a comfy spot, and enjoy this episode of Paranomaly. Stay with us, folks. All right. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about your experiences and the McInteer Villa. That's how you pronounce it, correct?
Yeah, McInteer Villa, yep.
Okay, all right. So, give us a little bit about yourself. What got you all wrapped up into the paranormal?
I'm sure it's different than everybody else's who hasn't had an experience as a kid or something. But I went to the Crescent Hotel and heard something at like 3 o'clock in the morning, like somebody ordering room service. Well, I'll start over. When I went to the Crescent, I saw all these people on this ghost tour, and I thought, idiots. I mean, what? I mean, I never even thought about ghosts. So not really idiots, but I mean, like, I never thought either way about ghosts. And so about 3-something in the morning, I heard somebody not ordering, but I heard room service being delivered. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Room service around 3. Right. But then I took the ghost tour with all the other idiots. And they talked about a squeaky wheeled gurney being pushed down the hallway between 3 and 4 in the morning. And I was like, what? So that's what got me into ghost hunting. It's weird, but, and that was about 10 years ago, I think, maybe a little longer, but just hearing something that wasn't there. And it was just, you just can't wrap your brain around it. And so I, just started going to different places because I like to get scared. And, and I know some people are like, they don't like that, but I just like to get scared. It's like a roller coaster to me. Like you get off the roller coaster and you're like, I want to do it again. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what got me into ghost hunting.
So now when you heard your disembodied voice there and you was trying to wrap your head around all this, did you already have it in your mind that you might eventually own a property for paranormal investigation?
No, I never even thought about anything like that. I mean, I didn't even know that. I mean, I knew that the Crescent Hotel was haunted, because that's what it, people talk about being haunted or whatever. And I just went. I never knew that, like, locations, like houses, whatever, that you could book these places. So I had no idea that all this stuff existed. I mean, after the Crescent Hotel, I did go to like Villisca. I went to Ohio State Reformatory, and I saw how busy they all were, and I was like, "Oh, this is a moneymaker." No, it's not, but it is not. But that was honestly, to be honest, that was the first thing in my head. Like, these people are raking it in, and then once I started, and honestly, I'm no professional ghost. I'm a ghost hunter, not ghost. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. After Villisca, I think it was Villisca I went to, I said, I saw how booked they were. And I was like, if anything is ever for sale and it's like this, I would love to own it. I mean, who would think that, I mean, there probably will never be another Villisca for sale. But when I saw that the villa was for sale, I had stayed at the Sally House twice within 2 weeks of each other. And you used to have to check in at the depot. And somebody recognized me just because I was there 2 weeks prior. And they're like, there's a house for sale and it's haunted. And that's how that got started with the villa. I would joke around about wanting to do something like that because it just seemed fun. But now I think, so when I said the money thing, I'll go back to that. People can, it's definitely not about the money. I absolutely love the McInteer. There's something about it I just can't get enough of. And I think that even today, checking in a group, they said the same thing. They're like, they're just something, just want to keep coming back. I'm like, it's weird. I don't understand it, but so it's just something I love. I'm not taking all-inclusive trips anywhere, but I do absolutely love that house.
Well, tell us a little bit about the house for the people that don't know.
It was built in 1889 for John McInteer, who was a saddle and harness maker, and he was also into real estate. He was one of the wealthiest men in Kansas. He was a saddle and harness maker. But when he moved to Atchison, I believe it was 1860. He lived in. I don't have a picture of him. I don't have a picture of the first house or even his building. He had the largest convention hall in Kansas. So now I'm trying to think. So everything is like popping in my brain at once, and I just want to try to get it all out of my mouth, and I can't. I'm so sorry. I'm just like all flustered.
Just take your time and
don't be flustered. It's fine.
Oh my! It's because I showered. That's it. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, Mr. McInteer and his first wife had the house built. It was built in 1 year for $14,000. His first wife passed away after living there 1 year. I think she was ill for quite a while. And I don't know if the house was built fast because she was ill or if it was just built fast because they built houses fast back then. But it's very, like the woodwork is just it's just so decorative, just so ornate and detailed. And I don't know how they did it in 1 year, but we've had 9 documented deaths. One was a suicide. It was a boarding house for 27 years. The architect, his name was W. Angelo Powell. He was pretty famous in St. Joseph, Missouri. He helped design the Washington Monument and the Capitol building.
Oh, cool.
And yeah. And so that's a little bit of the history on the house. It's always been a private residence, except for the 27 years it was a boarding house. I bought it. January will be 6 years. So I bought it with my dad, January 2018. And he passed away about 3.5 years ago. He was only there once, and so I don't know much about ghost hunting, but people would say anyone can come through. And I just am like, oh, that's cool. Alrighty. But, I mean, cause I don't know if it's him or not, but I have heard, I think it was him, like the day he passed away. So I think he's come through. I just think there's people keep saying portal about the house. I don't know anything about portals. I just think Star Trek. I have no idea. But there are lots and lots of spirits that I believe have nothing to do with that house. And I think there are spirits that are with the house. I don't even know how many spirits are there. One time somebody asked me who my favorite spirit was. And I'm like, I don't know who's here. I have no idea. So when people ask me, who do I think is haunting the villa? Honestly, I don't know. I have no idea. I would assume John McInteer. I would assume Goldie, who lived there by herself from 1952 to 1969. I have the rocking chair she passed away in. The suicide, October 10th, 1922, I kind of think he's there. But after saying that, there's also something that mimics people. I've heard me talking. It's not me. I've heard, people say they talked to my dad, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I'm like, but did they really? I don't know, because there's something is mimicking people. So
yeah.
If they tell me someone's name, like I'm Charles, he's the one that committed suicide. Is it really Charles, or is it something mimicking him? This ghost hunting is confusing to me. So
it would need a thorough investigation.
Yeah, for sure.
And as long as everyone is using like John McInteer, his wife, anyone of that nature that has some kind of connection to the house, then you'd be able to more figure out if it is family or a possible death from somebody that lived there after.
Right. We have lots of kid voices, babies crying. So I don't know who these kids are. And that kind of kid ghosts kind of freak me out a little bit. But, because some people say that maybe it's not a kid. I have no idea. But kid voices and the babies crying, those are just I don't know. I don't know where these babies are coming from. I don't know where the kids are coming from. So yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that. But yeah, I do go, when I go in, I talk to, well, I just say hi to the house and like, I hope your evening was great. And then I say, not to say a pep talk, but like today when I left, I'm like, don't embarrass me. And then I walk out. And the group they're just like, okay, thank you. They've been there, I think 3 or 4 times before, but that's what I say every time I leave. I'm like, don't embarrass me or I'll sell you. That's weird. I'm probably not even answering any of your questions, but I do go in and say, I tap on my dad. I have his urn, so I tap on the glass that his urn is sitting in. And I'm like, hi, Dad. And then I just say, like, stir stuff up. So if he's there, I obviously talk to him. I talk to Charles. I don't wait for responses. I will say that, though. I do talk to them. And I'm like, hope you had a great evening. Come out and show yourself. People came to see you. And then I walk away. So yeah. I don't wait for a response. My dad would tell me to make friends with them, and I'm like, I don't make friends in real life. So
it's like you all are on your own.
Yes. Yep. I love the stories that people give me because it. Well, I think the first couple of months I had the house, people would investigate and they would say, well, who's this and who's that, and it would make me want to do some research. So I love it when people give me names. Like someone said, there's an Isaac, and he plays the piano. Well, something does play the piano, and I don't know who Isaac is, but, maybe it was when it was a boarding house. So it's still really cool that, like, all these people come through that I don't have any idea who they are, but it makes me want to look them up.
Yeah.
Or do some research. Yeah.
Is there a piano still on the property?
There is a piano. It's the first thing I brought in. So if you look at the pictures of the villa, nothing came with the house. I brought everything in, but the first thing I brought in was that piano because Goldie, who passed away in that rocking chair, she was a piano teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was nice of you then.
And also pianos are free. I had no idea why they're free, but now I do because they're freaking heavy to move.
Oh, okay, yeah.
These free pianos.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
they are extremely heavy.
Yes. And I've heard it playing. It's not like playing. One key will be, I don't know, is it struck one key? I have no idea, but one key will play, and it sounds like my doorbells, but my doorbells don't work. So I've heard it a few times. It's only been captured that I know of, like maybe once or twice. But that's pretty cool. And yeah. So yeah, that's the first thing I brought in. Then, so I don't know, and I also don't bring things. There's a lot of stuff in the house, and people will say, well, maybe these extra. The voices or the other names, maybe they're attached to something I've brought in.
Yeah, which could, that could be the case. So
yes, and it totally could be. And I do make sure to tell people that I don't bring things in because because somebody says something's attached to it. But how do I know what's attached to something?
Yeah.
So
how are you supposed to find out about something that you bought at an antique shop or whatever? So
yes. Like I have creepy dolls, and I think they're super cute, creepy dolls. But like one has human hair, and she's an 1800s marionette with human hair, and I have her in a locked case. Some people think that something is not good attached to her. Now there was a note that the previous owners at an antique store that they were selling her had with her, and it said possibly haunted. And I didn't get her for that reason. I got her because she has human hair. I mean, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yes. But I put her in the case because, she's from the 1800s, and I don't want to go playing with her. So, but it also gives like an effect of like, oh, that's creepy. She's locked up. But I don't do it for that reason. I do it because I just don't want her messed with.
Yeah.
And she did call me a stupid, dumb B word, which, not wrong. No, I'm just kidding. So I guess maybe so. It is funny because I tell people that story and I play the video or the recording on almost every tour. I had a girls' night there, and I actually apologized to the girls because nothing was happening. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't schedule an appearance. I'm like, we'll just have to do it another time. And the next day, a friend sent me a text asking me to check my security cameras because I have them all over the house. That her recorder picked up a voice, but she didn't know what it said. So I got on my security camera, and you hear, well, I ask, are you happy we're all in here? And then it says, no, I'm not, stupid, dumb, B word, and then a weird, creepy laugh that it was so loud and so clear.
Wow.
But we did not hear it. And so, and I get that people, skeptics, I totally get that when they don't believe that. I mean, it's so clear. I don't know if I'd believe it if I wasn't there.
Right.
So I totally understand it. But most of the EVPs I've captured on my security cameras, we don't hear. I mean,
sure.
It's like the recorders. Like, you don't hear it, but you play it back, and there it is.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And I think sometimes that ghosts just, they just get tired or whatever. Like, sometimes they don't want to show themselves. They just don't want to be bothered.
Yes,
so
100%.
I think they choose when they want to be seen and heard and felt and all that. So.
Yes, exactly. And people can tell. Like, they'll say, I think they're done for the evening. Because you can just tell it's just a different feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I get it. Sometimes I don't want to people and I check myself out, so I totally get it.
Yeah. Have you spent the night there yourself?
All the time. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Alone? Yes.
Oh, you're brave.
No, I'm not. Nope. I wear headphones. There's one of the rooms that is on the main level, and I don't watch TV, but when I'm there, I will put on like true murder shows, which not the brightest girl here.
Right? Oh my goodness gracious. Crazy.
Always true murder shows. Yep.
Yeah, have a haunted house. Let's go ahead and watch some true crime here.
Exactly. We'll start watching American Horror Story, right?
The Attic. I've only seen one episode or one season of that show, and it was the very first one in the attic on that. I think they call it the murder house.
Yeah, the murder house.
People compare the villa to that house. It looks like it, and the attic is huge, just like that one.
Oh,
wow.
Cool.
Yes, and it makes me think. But also, like when people, which is just sitting there talking to other people or the ghosts, and you don't know they don't know they're dead. I always think about the movie The Others, like Nicole Kidman.
Yeah,
I think that. I'm like, well, what if? Okay, this will sound weird, but everything I say is weird. It really is. But I'm like, what if? Because I hear full-on conversations at the villa, and I think there are people in here. I can hear them talking to each other. But I'm like, what if I'm the dead one and I just don't know it?
Ooh,
that's weird.
Yeah.
And it sounds weird, but what? I mean, I don't know. I just can't wrap my brain around that one either.
That's true. Yeah. We talked to somebody not long ago, and we kind of had that same kind of conversation. Is when we hear someone and we hear a hello or whatever, what do they hear from us? Do they say, "Is that a ghost?"
Yeah.
Do they think we're ghosts?
Are we haunting the place? Yep.
It's just so weird to think about. Like, I mean, then I end it with, I'm only dead on the inside. It's, so I'm assuming it's not me. But it's just something like I said, I can't wrap my brain around it. If I'm moving things around, are they like, how'd that glass get over there? Or
right.
Or like, why? I would think that if they thought, why did that glass get over there or something, I would be thinking, where did all this furniture come from?
Right? Where did this doll in the case come from? With the human hair.
Exactly. Where did this doll come from? I didn't put her here.
Yeah, and it's almost like if someone lived there in 1800s, when they die, are they going to go back to that? You know what I mean? So
yes, I was talking about that with somebody just the other day too. It's like if they walk through a wall. I don't know how many people see something walk through the wall, and there's a door, say, right next to the wall. Why are they not using the door? Well, maybe the door used to be where they just walked through. I don't know. Yes. So maybe they just see it as it was when they lived there.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of times I think that when there's multiple paranormal things, like the person that we just said in the 1900s, they walk through and that, but if there was somebody else that was there in the 60s, would they bump into the person from the 1800s?
Oh my gosh, that's maybe now. Okay, so this kind of goes with that lately, and by lately I mean probably the past year, maybe the whole 5.5 years I've had the house, but lately I've noticed lots of leave, get out, run. Lately, it's also been saying die. But I'm like, you didn't say please, so we have to have manners. But,
right, use your manners.
Please, I'm screwed. Yeah, if they ever say please, I'm done. But someone had said, well, if they don't know that they're dead and they see someone, say, walking in the back door because they're there checking in for their overnight, they could just be looking over going, get out, leave.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I don't think you'd look over and go die, but I don't know.
You might be like, you're in my house, die.
Right?
Yeah.
If they think that they are the ghost or whatever, and they're just like, yo, get out. You know, I'm trying to sleep here. Or I'm using the bathroom. Or
I do get told shut the F up a lot.
Oh, my goodness
well, more
gracious.
than I'd like to sit here. But, I mean, I do talk a lot, so I'm also loud. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm loud, and I talk a lot. And, yeah, I've gotten shushed, and I actually looked at the girl next to me because I thought she shushed me. It was so clear, so loud. And I go, did you just shush me? She's like, no, you shushed me. And I'm like, nope, I didn't. So that was just really weird. Like something stuck their head right in between us. We're just sitting on a settee and just shushed us. So, yeah, lots of that. Shut up. It's kind of funny, but there's lots of cussing. And it might be my fault. But there's lots of cussing.
Ooh,
I think there's something that likes
cussing.
dirty jokes. Like, yes. So, yeah, when I just tell people, you know, like, well, I tell people if nothing's happening, just ignore. I also have found that, in my opinion, or just from me, that if I'm not paying attention, that's kind of when things happen. So when I'm there by myself, well, obviously they know I'm by myself, and I just think they mess with me. I think they like to scare me when I'm there by myself. Just the other day, I was in the dining room, and I'm not saying it's paranormal. I'm just saying it was weird that I put it on I think I put it on Facebook. Yeah, I did. And a piece of carpet tape. I was using carpet tape to put a wig on a skeleton. Boy, that sounded weird, didn't it? I swear I'm normal. I was taping a wig to a skeleton for a decoration for outside. And the way this tape just lifted up, I mean, just straight up, and then kind of rolled, and then it felt it's hard to explain, but it just rolled a little bit on the table, but the way it lifted and where you pull the tape off of the roll was straight up in the air, if that makes sense. And it stood for a few seconds, and then it came down.
Whoa.
But it was it's just weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so weird. And of course, when I did post it, I did say I'm not saying it's paranormal. I'm saying I'm done decorating.
Right.
But I was by myself, and they know it. And they just kind of, like when I spend the night by myself, that's why I wear my headphones, because I don't want to hear anything. Because I live about an hour away, and I will end up driving home if I hear something. I'm very brave if one other person's in the house, just one other person. I will go anywhere in the house, but by myself, I'm staying on the main floor.
So I'm watching that video.
Oh, okay.
And we're looking at it right now, and there it goes. Yeah, kind of just like stands straight up. And then rolls back over.
Right, and nothing else is blowing. It wasn't a breeze or anything. Watch it again.
I did have the AC unit going, but it didn't even move anything.
Yeah, and, we're looking at different items on the table. Nothing moved.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Whoa.
And I didn't even notice I did this. I looked up right before it did it, which I didn't even know that I did that. So maybe I saw something or heard something. I don't know. But, yeah, I look up towards the main staircase, and then the tape.
Ooh, that's a trip.
Yeah. You could
something.
Yeah,
there.
you could have definitely. It could have been like you kind of felt a presence, but wasn't sure, and then all of a sudden that tape does its thing.
And then I was like, just looking around, like, what just happened? Oh my goodness!
But I love it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's a plausible piece of evidence. We can't say that it's paranormal, but it is plausible.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly. And I make sure to tell people I'm not saying anything I post is paranormal. I also will only post the super clear EVPs. If people will comment saying you have the clearest EVPs I've ever heard. I'm like, well, those are the only ones I post. I'm like, and then I say I'm not as sensitive, but I am sensitive and I cry easily. So
beautiful.
And people aren't always the nicest online. So
right?
I will only post. But then again, the super clear ones, I get how they would be like, that's not real. So, but I did post on my Instagram page. I think my friends had just left and I'm there by myself. It was probably like 6 a.m. I walk around a corner and something says, why won't you go away? Like,
oh,
so,
you clearly get on somebody's nerves.
That's in my daily life.
Me too.
Now, I have a question about, do you have a lot of information on when it was it wasn't a boarding home. It was a,
yeah, some people call it a rooming house. Some people call it a boarding house. Some people call it an apartment. So honestly, I don't. Oh, you mean like, do I have any information on who stayed there or?
Yeah. Do you have information about when it was a rooming house? Was there any kind of deaths that you know of that happened there at that time?
The only death I know that happened, and it's actually the anniversary of it, is I think tomorrow or the next day. And I don't post it. Well, people will ask about the 9 deaths, and so anyway, I'll just say it's a 4-day-old infant passed away in, I think, 1938.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if I think she was born in the hospital in Atchison, and she passed away 4 days later in the home. I don't think that's the baby we hear crying, but I have no idea. People do think that there was possibly illegal medical procedures on women in the basement. So that could be the baby crying. I did hear a baby in the basement. I heard a baby also in the kids' room on the 2nd floor. So I have no idea. But other than that death, and like I said, 1938, I don't know of any deaths. And I don't think the owners lived there when it was a rooming house. So I can get the owners' names. I just can't get, like, unless something happened to, like, Betty at 1301 Kansas Avenue, I don't know anything of what happened or of anything at all.
Right. And
it's a beautiful house.
It is.
Sure.
It's
I love
definitely.
Oh, thank you.
It's big and beautiful.
It's now the basement has 7 rooms, and it looks like, I keep saying I should change how I word this, but I'm not going to. I word it like, it looks like Silence of the Lambs, like you're going to get murdered.
Oh my
And then I'm like,
goodness.
let's go to the basement. Oh my gosh. But I would rather be in that basement where you cannot see your hand in front of your face. I mean, it's like darker than dark. I'd rather be down there alone than on that 2nd floor. And
Really? Interesting.
Yes. Well, most people don't agree with me either, but those people are wrong. I think it's because my brain can turn it into there's a person in here. I don't know. Because in the basement, I just assume if there's a noise or something, it's paranormal. The 2nd floor, it's so loud or so clear. It's like, well, this is the day I go out. There's somebody in this house. Maybe that's why I don't like the 2nd floor.
Interesting.
I don't know. But, yeah.
So is there, I know that you open it up for paranormal investigations. Is it electric, have all electric bathrooms?
Yep. There are 3 bathrooms. There are lots of different, like, sitting rooms. I have one, like, lots of furniture that people can, well, when people spend the night, like bedroom wise, I have 2 rooms that I have for bedrooms. One has 2 twin beds in it. One has 1 full-size bed in it. And I do let people sleep on the beds, not in the beds. Some people bring cots or air mattresses. They can sleep on the furniture as long as they throw a blanket or sheet over the couches so they don't get them dirty. But yeah, it's, oh gosh, I don't even think I answered your question. It's like going off on something else. Okay, you're going to have to ask me. I'm sitting here just like, oh my gosh.
What did you smoke before this podcast?
Girl, I wish I had. I'm just kidding. I don't even do that. Oh my Lord. I don't even know why I said that. I'm like, this is like, I don't even know what I'm saying. You have a lot of editing to do, sir. Ma'am. So, there's that. Oh my gosh.
Now, when they come over and they
the running bathrooms. Oh my gosh, that's what running electricity, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
All of it. Oh my gosh. See, about 2 a.m, I'll remember a question also, and I'll just text one of you. How about that? Yes, 3 bathrooms, bedrooms, sitting rooms. There's Wi-Fi. There is a shower. I tell people the pressure sucks, but it gets the job done. They can shower if they want. I have tons of coffee. I have tons of coffee pods, bottled water sodas I give people.
I was going to ask if you had a working kitchen in there too.
There is a working kitchen. I don't let people cook, but they can use a microwave, and
cool.
So there's all the goodies. You don't have to leave to go to the bathroom.
It would be a beautiful bed and breakfast, actually.
Yes, it would be for the next person if I ever sell it.
Which I hope you don't. You're having too much fun with it.
Yes, I love it.
So I have more questions. So I'm looking at your house, and I see a skeleton out the very top. Is it a porch up there?
No, I thought it was. I was like, this would be a cool place to sit and have coffee or something. But it's so tiny. Like, I can put like a foot on it. It's really small. So I just kind of open up the window in the attic and then pull the screen out, and then I can just kind of step 1 foot out there, and I can just prop the skeleton up. And I totally forgot that he was up there until, oh gosh, it wasn't even that long ago. And I'm like, oh crap, that was from last Halloween. Whoopsie. Oops. So he's just waving all year long. But for the most part, the skeletons are not out. I'm not that campy. Now, the skeleton horse that's in the front yard, he stays out because Mr. McInteer was a saddle and a harness maker. And so I can't afford a horse sculpture for $20,000. So Home Depot has that one for $300.
Cool.
So he stays out year round. But the other ones, they get put away.
Is the wagon original?
Yeah, nothing is original to the house. I brought everything in.
Okay. And
also the wagon. Facebook Marketplace has everything. And so that was a wagon, obviously for somebody, but it's really cool. I love that wagon because I tell people, yeah, it's real. Get on. You can get it in, take pictures, whatever. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oops. Mm-hmm.
And we're let me see here. My phone is falling down. Now I see you have there's pictures. They're mirrors, actually. It's what it looks like. Up in, would it probably be in the attic?
Okay, let's see. What? So you have to tell me again.
There's some in chairs, some on
You have
stands.
mirrors. They're on stands, and
okay.
There's a red rug,
like 6
with
of
a
them.
candle sitting in the middle.
Okay, that was a mirror portal project that somebody was doing. That's not those aren't there anymore.
Oh, okay.
They were there for a very short time. I don't know if it brought in extra activity or decreased activity. I couldn't tell a difference. I mean, it was interesting. So there was like Villisca Axe Murder House. There was a mirror at the villa. I guess they called the mirrors were the hub. So there was a mirror for Villisca at Villisca, and then the connecting mirror was at the McInteer. There's one at Malvern, and then the connecting mirror was at McInteer. And there was actually one at McInteer, and then the connecting mirror was in the attic with the rest of the mirrors. So I guess you could not investigate, but you could, for like a portal, you could maybe talk to somebody in Villisca through the mirror or something.
Oh, okay.
But I don't sit still that long, I don't do scrying and all that stuff. So, yeah. So I just don't do that. I didn't notice anything activity-wise, anything extra, or it didn't decrease either. So, but it was a cool concept, and people love them, and people still ask for the mirrors. I'm like, oh, they're not here anymore, but they really did like them.
Yeah, it's interesting. I looked at that. I'm like, what is that about?
Yeah.
What are you trying to conjure up in there?
Yeah, yes, that because people will also see a mirror I have at the end of my hallway on the second floor, and they're like, "Ooh, that's a portal." And I thought it was 2 mirrors that face each other, but I don't know. So, like I said, when people say portal, I don't know if you go through the mirrors. Is there just like a hole in the air we don't see? Is there two mirrors facing each other? I have no idea what the mirrors honestly were supposed to do. Or
now,
cool.
is your home, is that on the registry? National Registry?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Wow.
Sure is.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow. So, and obviously way back when you thought about houses and making money, and this is way back now, you didn't realize that you was going to have, restoration in there and all
yes.
that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Like when I said earlier, oh, I'll be loaded. No. But I get it now when do what you love doing. I absolutely love it. And so, yeah, I did not consider any of that extra work or cost. But so far, knock on something, everything is, well, I need a new boiler. But for the most part, like the house, it is so well built and that house is going nowhere.
Yeah, good bones in that. And then I don't know what your weather's like. You're in Kansas, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure what your weather's like in Kansas, but I wouldn't see your weather being where it's going to rot houses out. I mean, it could. I don't know.
It's not horrible weather. I mean, like tornadoes. When actually the race chasers were there. They were there a few months ago, but they were also there a year ago. So when they were there a year ago, we were in the basement and the sirens are going off because there was a tornado. And I'm not saying it's funny, but I might have been laughing a little bit because people, and I get that they were terrified. And I'm just chuckling because I'm like, this house is going nowhere, people. We're good. We're good. Trust me. Yeah.
Yeah, and see, I'll do anything but hurricanes and tornadoes. I'm not a fan.
Oh, yeah.
So that's right, and I forgot. That's like you have like Tornado Alley up through there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. No thanks. I'll have to come in the non-tornado season.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
So tell us more about this. Do you have like? I see like people have anyway. They've smelled cigarette smoke or cigar smoke, perfume. Is that like a all the time occurrence?
No, that's kind of rare actually. Very, very faint cigarettes I've smelled just a handful of times. A few days ago I did smell like it smelled like pipe.
Oh, okay.
Like smoking a pipe, which it smells good. But people, I think they smell different things. Like a guy the other day was during a tour, he just could not stop saying, he's like, "Why does your house smell like maple syrup?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know." And he's like, "Did you have pancakes?" I'm like, I promise you, I don't like pancakes. I didn't have syrup. And he just kept saying, "Your house smells like maple syrup." I'm like, "Well, you're welcome." But sometimes I'd tell people the smell that I get the most is Aquanet. I'm like, I grew up in Texas. I know that smell, that Aquanet hairspray. Yeah. And that gets kind of strong. Very like fresh cut flower perfume kind of smell. Sometimes it smells like somebody just crop dusted you. I mean, or people are just blaming it on the ghosts. I don't know, but yeah, it's those kinds of smells. What I get the most, for me anyway, are the I don't get touched. I rarely get touched, I should say. I rarely get that kind of stuff. I get my name called a lot. And that's any location I go to. Just the other day at the Villa, I did spend the night on Thursday night by myself. And I had a friend there for a while, and her and I were doing some EVPs, and it just kept saying Stephanie. And it's not even a sweet Stephanie, it's Stephanie. And I'm like, dang, okay. But I go to other places, and it's the same Stephanie. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's enough.
Wow.
But a few people have told me that they think something follows me from the Villa to other locations. I'm like, I don't know. But I also don't say, you can't come with me, you got to stay here. I've never said that at any place I've gone.
Right.
But the way they worded it was, they follow you there because they want to make sure you come back. I'm like, well, that's creepy. And then somebody actually worded it a little bit better. They said, well, they want to make sure you don't bring something back. So somebody follows you. I'm like, I don't like that either. Neither one is good for me. I don't like it. But,
an attachment's attachment, whether you're coming or going.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there was an EVP I captured at a location that just a private residence. And so we didn't know why it was haunted. And so my friend asked, where did you come from? And so clearly it said, I came from the villa. And I go, well, get back. People paid. Go. Not come with me. No.
So do you have like a spot where you post like your EVPs and things?
Yes, I do. Facebook, Instagram. I'm just figuring out TikTok. So,
yeah, I kind of skipped the TikTok.
I don't like TikTok.
I don't.
That's
I like
for the
to watch
younglings.
Yes, I like to watch it for the funny videos, but I don't. Yeah, I don't get it. But Instagram and Facebook is where I put my EVPs or things like tape rolling on the table, things like that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I always say, and I know Ronnie says this too, EVPs are, in my opinion, the most credible when it comes to the paranormal. And I say credible, but let me rephrase the credible. It's the most plausible.
Right. Yes. And I tell people I say that all the time. Like, I'm not going to post, oh, look, my K2 meter went off. Oh, look, my REM pod or this. I don't do that. I post the voices or something moving, things like that. Because that, to me, I can prove no one else is in the house or the voice is your best piece of equipment is your ears. That's what I tell people. That and a recorder. Yep. Gadgets are cool and fun and entertaining, but I don't post those. Because I just want to hear the voices.
Right. And to me, I've always been fascinated with EVPs. I love, where did the voices come from? That's how I always look at it, Yes. So, but, we know that there's audio pareidolia. We know that. But I'm telling you, when you listen to a clip and it comes out and says your name, for example, where did it come from?
And then some people think, they say give it like if you ask a question, wait, I don't know how many seconds before the next question. And I totally get that too. There was a time I came to the villa and I stood at the bottom of the main staircase and I'm like, okay, we're coming up. Are you ready? And right then something goes, no. And I'm like, I started laughing because it was just so fast. I thought it was the two people that were with me. And I'm like, did you guys just say no? And they go, no. And not to call them liars, but I didn't believe them. So I got on my camera. They did not say a word, but something immediately said no. I tell people the house is very interactive. There was and it's on my Instagram page and Facebook. I had a friend there and she heard 3 little taps. I didn't hear them, but she did. And so I got on the camera to try and hear the taps. She tried to mimic the taps. And then something says, that's not it. She's like, yep, that's it. And then something goes, that's not it. So we're like, and then it goes on to say, not it, idiot, which is kind of funny, but that's how interactive it is. You don't hear it. Obviously, you don't hear them talking. And the only reason I checked the camera is because I didn't hear the taps that she heard. So otherwise, we would never know that it said, that's not it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a time I was talking about an EVP. So in the middle of me talking, there was a friend there. She was taking a picture with myself and her daughter, and she thought she captured something in the mirror behind us. And it wasn't clear, so I wasn't going to post it, but I got on my camera just to see if something moved or something was said. So I paused in the middle of me saying, and I heard somebody goes, what did it say? And I just kept talking. So it's like they're trying to listen. They're just that interactive. Just me pausing, talking about EVP that I thought was from my dad. And then it said, what did it say? It's just crazy to me.
Yeah.
So when I was talking about pausing, do I really have to pause? Because they seem to be right there, right on it.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Because, most of the time you ask a question, you wait a few seconds, and you ask another one. But yours, it seems like it's just happening directly.
Yes. Yeah. And so I do tell people, because I do have cameras all over the house and it makes me look like a weirdo, or creepy, whatever. But I don't live there. So one, it's for security.
Right.
Two, it also can back things up. If somebody sends me a video, I can say, oh no, that was this. Or, oh wow, I don't have anything that happened. So it must be something paranormal then.
Right.
Yeah, so I can say like a car went by outside. That's what that noise was. Or, so I can, I don't say debunk it, but yeah, I could debunk it, or I can say, oh my gosh, that's paranormal. So that's why some people think the cameras are just for me to watch and ghost hunt all the time. Like, I don't have a life, but I'm not going to do that.
Well,
I don't.
No, and that's your investment. So you're going to make sure that you have security because, you don't want nothing to happen to it.
Exactly. And it's getting more known. I mean, I'm still the new person at the paranormal stuff or locations. So it's getting its name out there. And for the most part, 99% of the time, nobody bugs the house. I'm booked a lot, so that also helps because when people see, a car in the driveway, I don't think it's ever been messed with. Some people will come to the door and say, oh, the spirits are calling me here. Can I come in? Which is weird. I was going to say kind of sweet, but it's weird. So yeah, that happens only a few times. But yeah, so it's really good for that too. Cause some people might like, oh, let's go look at the house, which I totally get. Cause I did that too. When I saw it was for sale, I would just get in my car and drive out there and just look at it. Well, that sounds weird.
No, we do that. Like we're eyeballing a house up the road from us. We've been looking at it for like 6 months, just daydreaming about it.
But your place isn't really that new. If you type in McInteer Villa, I mean, there's tons of links here. Mm-hmm. Tons.
Oh, wow. Okay then.
There's
Google yourself, girl.
Yeah, you'll have to Google it.
I don't need to read that stuff.
No, nothing bad. I mean, like you have Visit Atchison.
Yes, Atchison.
You have that one. You have there's a big Google thing right here. You got your Facebook. It's got a Wikipedia, Kansas Tourism, TripAdvisors. All 5 star.
Look at that.
So would you look at
you're
that?
In haunted rooms
look at me go.
You're in hauntedrooms.com, so I mean you have tons here. So yes, I mean people, they'll hear this and they'll say, "Oh wow, I'm going to check it out." And as soon as they type it in, it comes up. I mean, and if you do an image search, the same. Oh my God, there's tons and tons of pictures.
Yes, there is.
So I think it's awesome.
I would be drawn to that house too.
Oh yes,
I'm just saying.
It is very beautiful.
It is awesome. I just love it. Love it.
Now, if people want to get with you to set up an investigation. Mm-hmm. Where do they got to go? What's your web address?
It is 1889 McInteerVilla.com, and I have you can't book online, but there's a calendar, and I'm having some people update the website because it looks kind of like poo right now. But I just said poo. Oh my God. Anyway, let's forget that word. Wow. So when there's a date that's open, they just give me a call, and it's $100 to hold the date. And I already have months in 2024 that are the whole weekends are booked. I think all of April, all of May, I think January and February too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Heck yeah, you go, girl.
Yeah. And somebody just booked for October 2024. I'm like, I didn't even plan dinner. I don't even know how you do this. But yay for them. Good. But yeah, so it is getting a lot busier and more known. So, and everything's been word of mouth, which has been so nice. That's really what I'm most proud of, I think, is that I've met the nicest people through this house. I mean, I've met just amazing people through this house. And I don't know where I'm going with that, just word of mouth. And they've spread the word, or just wearing my t-shirts or sweatshirts. And then I have a friend, her and I went to the Cirque du Soleil, like the paranormal Cirque du Soleil that was in Topeka a few months ago. We're just sitting there, and she looks at the guy next to her, and she starts, "You ever heard of the McInteer Villa?" And I'm like, "Melissa, stop it." But she really does. Her, my friend Tori, she does that. They just spread the word. And I don't even do that.
That's cool. It's good that they're doing that.
Yes. It is funny. My son was wearing the sweatshirt, and he said that somebody came up to him and asked if he'd ever been there before. And he goes, "Oh, my mom owns it." So he calls me up and he goes, "So I'm pretty much famous now." And I'm like, okay. I'm not famous, and I'm good with that. But it cracks me up how people have heard of it. Like, I don't know. It still baffles me how it just is out there.
Well, wait, you're going to have this. It's going to be huge. You know what I mean? If so many people already know about this place, it's, in fact, it looks like did Nick Groff go there?
He did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So there you go.
Yeah. If you're going to have them people there, then all the investigators in the world are going to be there eventually.
Yes. He was there kind of when I was still really new. I might have had the house a year. I mean, he was there a few years ago. So that was awesome that they contacted me for that. I've had some other shows contact me, but it didn't go any further than just, here's information on my house. I'm not good at describing. I don't know if they're looking for a specific kind of shows or looking for something. I don't know. And I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I just am happy that when anybody does contact me, it's because someone else has talked about it. It's not me sending emails or like, check me out. It's other people saying great things about the villa.
Well, that's cool. That's awesome.
Yes.
And you have shirts and stuff?
I do. I have t-shirts, and I'm not even a sweatshirt hoodie person, but they are the softest sweatshirts I've ever had. I mean, people love them. So I do have sweatshirts and t-shirts.
Nice.
Yeah.
So everybody that goes there, they're going to be in for one heck of an investigation, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
I hope so. I hope so. Lots of repeat people. So most people, when they go, they realize that it's not going to be crazy like every time they're there. I don't know, maybe it will be. But at least for the most part, most people know that, it's quiet this night, but we're still going back because we love the place. That kind of thing. But I don't know what I was. Well, I just want to say that I have next month there's a wedding at the villa. I've had some receptions there, surprise parties. People have. Oh gosh, I can't remember what somebody did there. Oh, I had a voodoo doll making party.
Cool.
Just stuffing, nothing like no hair, nothing like that. Just stuffed dolls. But so I do tell people that 99% of it people ghost hunt, but there are some that, like I said, weddings and receptions.
And which I was about to ask if you did that, and you do. So that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd want to get married there.
Yeah, well, keep thinking.
There's one on October the 13th, and it's so funny because they wanted that date, and I get it because it's Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
And I have, I'm like, my only time slot is, I'm like, the group checks out at 10 a.m. and the next group checks in at 3, but I have self-guided tours from 11 until 3. I said, so basically my only time is from 10 a.m. to 3, and he took it. He got all, I'm like, here's the price of all the tours. If you want to book the whole thing, he's like, done. I'm like,
wow.
Okay.
Which is awesome because, so it's going to be like someone leaves at 10 and then there's a wedding until 3 and then I have an overnight checking in at 3. It'll be a busy day, but nothing I'm complaining about at all. I love every second of it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, you know what? Thank you so much, Steph, for coming on and telling us about this wonderful, beautiful house and your experiences there and lots of other people's experiences as well. It's a very beautiful place, and I get lost looking at the pictures.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And thank you so much for taking a shower for us. I appreciate
You're
that.
very welcome. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Don't you just love my hairstyle today?
I mean, I could have flipped the camera on. We could have talked face to face, you know.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Well, I'm ready for tomorrow then. I planned early.
Yeah,
there you
exactly.
go.
Thank you guys so much.
All right, Stephanie. Thank
you.
you so much. You have a wonderful night.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning in with us tonight, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and follow to receive notifications when new content from Paranomaly Podcast is made available. If you believe you have something paranormal happening in your home or business, or you believe you may have witnessed a UFO or UAP, please send us your story, your photos, videos, questions, suggestions, and your comments to paranormalypodcast@gmail.com. You can also visit us at www.paranormalypodcast.com for more content and information, including all our social links. Hey, thanks again for watching and listening, and I hope that you tune in for next week's episode of Paranomaly. Hey, a word of caution. Paranomaly Podcast and its affiliates or hosts do not verify or check the validity of any person, team, or its members. Paranomaly Podcast highly advises that you proceed with caution when contacting any person or team before allowing them and having them into your home or business. A legit paranormal research and investigation team will never charge you a fee to investigate your home or business. They do, however, accept donations to help further the research and investigations if you so choose to do so. All right, thanks everybody.